What it is, everyone. Merry Christmas. It's Christmas Eve today, not Christmas Steve. I saw that said. Christmas Eve. We are going to have a chill show today. I believe we'll try to check in with the chat, see what everybody's doing. Curious what you're up to right now, the night before Christmas and all through the house. We have some news today. Since it is the holiday season, it is a relatively slow news day, which is why this is called Christmas Eve Chat and Chill. We can engage in some back and forth. I'll try to catch up with the chat, see what people want to talk about. I have some news today. Most of my feed was consumed with news of Candace Owens. I don't know if that's just my algorithm, but it's probably most people's algorithm. I don't know how one person got to be so big. So I have the latest debunking on her guest who made the claims about what happened at Fort Huachuca. I don't know if everybody's up to date on that or not, or if people don't even care. Merry Christmas to you, Mick Gibbs. Thank you, Buddha Girl. Merry Christmas to you and all LTV followers. Thank you. Hopefully we can get a live chat. I didn't lead with Candace Owens today. Might mean there are fewer people tuned in, but that's all right. We can have only the hardcore fans here today. I have some news about Trump. I have some news about Epstein. And then I have the latest clips on Candace Owens. And like I said, I'm open to whatever you guys want to talk about. So feel free to chime in, try to be active, try to make up for the fact that we didn't lead with a clickbait today. And then I have some news about AI too, and the AI future. So I'll show you some of that if you're interested. Some news about the economy. Silver is up. It is worth twice as much as I had to sell almost all of mine for earlier this year when I had to pay off my credit card. It's kind of disappointing. But we have economic apocalypse on the docket. Economic apocalypse is up to bat. So hope everybody's prepared for that. Although, according to Trump and according to his people, that's just the opposite of the truth. And we're not going to have an economic apocalypse at all. So maybe you guys can decide. Some people are telling me in my comments that I should not disparage Trump so much. I understand. But not many people are saying that these days. Many people have disparaging things to say about Trump, particularly when it comes to the Epstein files right now. So I'm going to get into where he was mentioned in the Epstein files and what I think about the accusations against him. Bob Rosson T. Christ says, just put my daughter to bed, cracking up in a White Claw surge. Watching Lift the Veil settings. Watching Lift the Veil. Jolena says, definitely keep disparaging Trump. Okay, well, that's what I'm leading with today. I also have Marco Rubio. People say is on cocaine during this one clip. So I'll play that for you. Not going to talk too much as far as I know today about the MAGA civil war, although that is going on. The war between the Jews and everybody else. Ben Shapiro, Megyn Kelly. Everybody's an anti-Semite if they don't like Megyn Kelly, Mark Levin, etc. So I might have some news of that on my docket, but I decided not to focus on the Jews today. Today is a Christmas holiday. Mr. Cranky New World Order said weather emergency in Cali. Yeah, I'm living through it. So I'm trying to survive the flood. When the rain comes to LA, it's a national emergency. Actually, our governor just declared a national emergency. I'm sorry. He can't do that. A local emergency in Los Angeles. Apparently, it's flooded out. That was also in my feed today. Tornado warnings, flooded roads, like 100 inches of snow in our mountains here in California. I literally saw somebody say that. Apparently, it is kind of apocalyptic. It's not so bad here. Just some rain, some wind. But we're surviving. Had some donuts today. Trying to figure out what to do for tomorrow. I'm by myself. except for you guys this Christmas holiday. Sumi, we're looking out for the dog during this holiday. So those are the plans. My plans are with you guys pretty much. So I'm here. I'm queer. I'm not going away. Alex Jones was working today too. A lot of podcasters are taking a digital detox, taking a break from everything, which I can't blame them for. But not me. I'm here. I'm here to entertain you guys who may or may not have things to do. I'm assuming if you're tuned into a YouTube stream on Christmas Eve, maybe you don't have things to do. Jackie Blue, good to see you, says Nathan. It's wild to see you again. I watched you many years ago and found you again last week. Good. The show is growing. We're finding people who are subscribed and forgot about me. But that's because I disappeared for a long time. I had to leave YouTube during the free speech apocalypse because every other one of my videos would get deleted or get a strike. I didn't know what to say. I was tongue-tied. I mean, it was impossible. That was back around 2018, 17, 18. 2017 was the height of this channel when a lot of people found me, when Isaac Cappy was on, when we had a series about satanic ritual abuse. I think we might have done the moon landing. Moon landing might have been 2016. Those were some big videos. But yeah, I disappeared. I went to different places, went to DLive, was there with Nick Fuentes and crew when that was going on. Went to Twitch for a long time, and then I would just make short videos for YouTube. The era of short videos on YouTube is basically over. That's how I got popular in the first place. We used to spend a lot of time making 15-minute videos. That was very popular on YouTube. But those days have passed. Now are the days of the live stream, like we're doing now, and the shorts. And I have an AI tool that creates the shorts from my live stream. So that's the era we're in. A lot of shorts, a lot of brain rot. And I did make one popular short, conspiracy theory short, about a guy in the Australia shooting. I haven't checked it lately. Last I checked, it had 225,000 views on TikTok, but not on YouTube. YouTube, it didn't trend. So interesting. Let's see. I'm going to get to the chat. It's a chat and chill today. I was going to say YouTube and chill. Mike H, am I getting storms or heavy rain? It doesn't seem too heavy, really. I mean, I'll hear it pounding on the sun. What do they call them? A skylight. I'll hear it pounding a little bit. I hear the wind. The wind is kind of something, but we don't have flooding here or anything like they have in LA. I'm up the coast. So, but still under a flood watch through the 26th, I believe. So didn't get a chance to walk today because of the rain. So I didn't get my exercise in. Couldn't sleep last night because I'm in an unfamiliar environment, I guess. It was horrible, but I feel okay. I think I seem okay. I look okay because I have AI makeup on. Sean 808 Stingray says Mary, not Jesus's birthday. Yeah, I believe it's Krishna. Is that the god that was actually supposedly born on the 25th first? And then Saturnalia. It's not his real. I heard his real birthday is September 11th, according to at least one scholar, which I tend to kind of believe, just because September 11th is such a mystical date. Hey, Phil, Merry Christmas to you. No pointers about a prime rib, although it sounds great. Maybe I should get a steak. Oh, no, I'd have to barbecue it, and it's raining outside. No, probably just spaghetti and meat sauce, like usual. Katie asks, will I do a New Year's live stream this year? Maybe. I could. Maybe. Probably not up until midnight or anything, because I don't stay up that late when I can sleep, at least. So probably not anything like a midnight live stream for New Year's, but I'm pretty wide open. I might do a stream tomorrow. I might do a stream tomorrow to a small audience because people will be with their families and stuff. But there is football on all day too, so just depends. I do watch the football. People find that a little odd, but oh yes, that's right. Around the time of Owen Benjamin, that's right. Owen Benjamin fell, didn't he? He fell. He was popular. He was about as popular as Nick Fuentes because he was talking about child abuse in Hollywood, kind of before most people, or sort of talking about. Yeah, he was kind of talking about child abuse in Hollywood. It's always a popular topic, talking about child abuse. If you want to ride the algorithm, at least it was. I didn't cover it for that reason, but maybe my most popular time was covering that because, yeah, Isaac Cappy, that was my biggest show, and then Vegan Mikey. Jackie Blue says you look great. And that familiar voice is so calm and balanced. Thank you very much. Would you like me to do audiobooks? I could. I mean, would you buy them if I did audiobooks? I would do it with AI though, is the thing. Probably. Tune Fork says you opened my eyes about the moon landing. Yeah, that was a great video. I almost quit. I made a video about the moon landing. I saw the lunar roving vehicle. And this was before I had gotten into the moon landing. I wasn't a flat earther. I just started looking into the moon landing because I was looking into all kinds of stuff. And I looked at the lunar roving vehicle. And I looked at the tires and the wheels. I was like, for some reason, my mind was like, that looks like a Jeep. Those look like the wheels for a Jeep. And I started searching. And I found the schematics and everything for the Jeep Willie. It was like a 1967 or Jeep Willie or something that the lunar roving vehicle was based on. Exactly. And I put that out. And then I was like, this is the greatest video of all time. I found like the key to the lock. And then after 2 days or so, the video wasn't getting that much traffic. I was like, okay, I'm going to quit. This is ridiculous. Because I was like suppressed from very early on. I made conspiracy videos coming out the gate. End of 2015. Started with the Bataclan shooting. That was my very first video with just a webcam, no microphone. I was really nervous. 13-minute video or something. Started getting views. Then the San Bernardino shooting happened. I was covering that. And then I made a video about that started going viral. Got up to like 60-some thousand views. And it was going up every day. And then I tried to monetize my channel. And all of a sudden, my traffic dropped to 0. They denied my monetization. And then they killed my channel. And then after that, I couldn't get traffic. Just kind of frustrated because I was making good videos, I thought. And it was conspiracy content, which is super popular. But I just kept grinding. And that was like when I couldn't do my job anymore because I was like unfulfilled. And I was trying to expose the New World Order. And I thought the whole world was going to change and all that stuff. Like early, when you first wake up to conspiracy theories and stuff. And anyway, it came back though. That moon landing video did finally give me a bunch of views. And then I got interviewed. My very first interview was on a flat earth show. With Patricia Steer. It was about a 3-hour interview. That was my first interview. And then I kind of became a little bit of a flat earther. I mean, I'm very earth skeptical still. Very earth skeptical because of the stars. It just seems like we're the center of the universe, kind of based on how everything goes around us, and comets come back every certain number of years. Just seems like everything goes around the earth, and there's no parallax in the stars and stuff. So I'm still Earth skeptical, not flat necessarily, because there are a lot of things that make it seem globy to me. And I believe in satellites, and for the satellites to work, we kind of have to be a globe, but it's kind of flat too. So thanks, Tuning Torque. Love, Peace, and Unity says, let's do a no Candace episode soon. Much love. Do you not want me to cover it? We can just chat the whole show. I have tabs lined up. I mean, I have videos lined up. I should play my intro because we're 15 minutes in. Jelena, our old show host. My first live streams were with Jelena, who is working for Vice. Were you working for Vice? Wanted to interview me about the Mandela effect. And I think she thought I was cute. We did shows together. It's very hard to do a live stream on your own, especially when you're just starting out. It's very nerve-wracking. But now everybody does it. I was one of the OG live streamers, right when the technology was first getting introduced. And Jelena and I did a show together. Yeah, those 15-minute videos. The video I made about San Bernardino, I spent like a month on the car chase. It was brilliant. But then it got suppressed or something. And I was frustrated, and I spent a lot of time being frustrated about being suppressed and censored and stuff. We try not to be frustrated anymore. Thanks for that, Jelena. Fond memories of Yoshi. That's Doshi. Doshi was the producer to the show. We started the show in our dad's garage with Doshi in the background, and he was a big draw for the show. He died. He got to be about 9 years old. Died probably of cancer or something. Okay, we're going through the. Oh, let me play my intro, and I'll tell you guys how to support the show and all that stuff. Okay, cue musical intro. Boy, that's brilliant. I do think some things in the world are real. Like you guys. You guys are real. Most of you. Most of my listeners, I think, are not just in my head. I think I have the metrics to prove it. You've taken a leap of faith today. What is that sound? And I apologize if you take offense. I'm a little offended myself. Welcome to our show. Welcome to the future. What it is, joining you live from sunny California. It's a beautiful day today. I'm your host, Nathan Stoltman. And I bring you the news, the real news. Oops, hold on. I was going to play this.
What would you like Santa to bring?
Not coal.
Not coal. No, you don't want coal. Well, coal is, you mean clean, beautiful coal. I had to do that. I'm sorry. No, coal is clean and beautiful. Please remember that at all costs.
Okay, I thought that was pretty funny. We thought we'd open with that. All right, thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll be taking questions from the chat. I'll show videos when I feel like it, or show you posts when I feel like it. If anyone wants to address Candace Owens today, it is in the news. It is getting worse for her catastrophically. Anyway, if you want to support this show until we get super chats activated, you will have to go to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. I know it's hard to do during the stream because you have to go somewhere and put in a credit card and stuff, but it's a good way to support the show. They don't take 30%. The money gets distributed quickly and fairly. Buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. Buy coffees, multiples if you want. Leave a note and I read them at the end of the show. Whether you did it during the show or after the last show, it doesn't matter. I always read them out. You can sometimes make requests and stuff. So that's good. Or another way to support the show is to visit our sale at Truth Revolution Clothing. Oh, which reminds me. Truth Revolution Clothing. which is at truthclothing.io. We're having a closeout, going out of business sale where we have t-shirts for less than they cost to produce, I believe, $10 and $5 for the most part, except for this one sweatshirt, which is $20, which says Bitcoin saves. But we have several shirts. We still have this propaganda baseball jersey in several sizes. So get that while you still can. I'm surprised we're not sold out. Those are our most popular styles. We might even bring that one back if we bring back shirts at full price. Truth Matters baseball is still available. That's one of the OG shirts. Question Everything we still have in several styles, several men's styles and several women's styles. And then a lot of stock in cryptocurrency shirts. Bitcoin saves, crypto future, $10, $10, pirate chain, hodl, $5, $5. And then we have our freedom of face shirts, which are made in the United States of America. We have some Vagabond tees left. We still have those. That's with our partnership with Last American Vagabond. And then we have these Question Everything female designs, which are outstanding, super high quality. They're Bella and what are they called? Bella. I forget what the brand is, but they're nice. Everything is super high quality, lasts forever or virtually forever, a long time. And they're a great deal. So buy them while you still can. I recommend it. All right, we'll check into the chat. Let's see. Yes, Mithras. That's correct. I believe it's Mithras who was born the 25th. It is for the solstice, the rebirth of the sun after it dies for 3 days. That's how I heard famous truther dead argued with Alex Jones, wrote a book, Pale Horse, Cooper. I listened to a bunch of Cooper stuff. He was a classic truther, Bill Cooper. And he said that there's something where the sun actually kind of holds position for 3 days. I looked into it, though. It doesn't really, but he said that. And then it's kind of like reborn on the 25th. So it kind of gets into the Jesus dying for 3 days and be reborn. It's all recycled. The story of Jesus is a little bit mythical, although I do believe he's a real person and not like Adam Green, who hates Christians. Well, I shouldn't cast aspersions. Doesn't really like Christianity. Thinks it's all a Jewish psyop invented by the Jews to control people. I don't believe that. I believe he's a real person who really exists, who was also kind of a Buddhist. Brought new things, a New Testament. I believe in the divinity of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. Though I don't use it as a way to I don't use it as a way to promote myself the way some people do. I don't go to church and stuff. You guys going to church tomorrow? Should I? There is a Catholic church in town, but there's also football on. Yeah, I find Catholic church to be kind of boring. I am a Catholic, though, technically. You guys going to church? That's what you're supposed to do. I don't get a lot out of it necessarily. I do more. I went into a religious thing when I was kind of insane. Then I went to Mormon church a few times. Very interesting. All right, let's see. Tuning Torque, has anyone looked at the Charlie Kirk book that came out one day too early? Is that the name of the book? I know he wrote a book about the Sabbath, about the Jewish Sabbath, and about taking a day off from gadgets. I don't know if he believes in not turning out lights or turning on lights and stuff like Jewish people do. But I think there's something to that. I believed that the Sabbath was probably meant to be on Saturday, not Sunday, that the Romans just made it Sunday because Sunday was like a Roman day. So I believe in the Jewish Sabbath, actually. I believe that if you have things to do and people to talk to, real people in real life, that probably taking a day off is a good thing every day, every week. I believe in working 6 days a week and taking one day to rest. I did that a lot when I was working. But I do this sometimes 6 days a week. Let's see. Mike says, did I hear the newest with Rob Reiner and how a bunch of people at Conan's party wanted to call police or call for a mental hold on Rob's son, but Conan told them not to call? No intervention? No, I didn't hear that. I heard an analysis with Dr. Drew that he thought he might be on meth, and that meth causes people to pick up sharp objects and become kind of homicidal or something. I haven't done a lot of meth myself, which might have caused me to have mental illness. I'm not sure. I never had the desire to pick up sharp objects and kill people, thankfully. And thankfully, I've never been violent. But I guess it can make people that way. Obviously, is mentally ill. And it is somewhat difficult to get a mental health hold in California, although it happened to me several times this year. But I guess it's somewhat difficult, not super difficult if you're acting crazy enough. No, I didn't hear that. I have heard some things about it, though, that he was kind of maybe schizophrenic or diagnosed with schizophrenia. Maybe he was having trouble with his medication. I'm not sure, but sort of sad, a super sad story. Trump really fumbled that one. Let's see. Did I watch the Alabama-Oklahoma game? No, I missed that one. Let's see. Didn't Milo talk about child abuse with homosexuals and minors? Well, I will comment on that. Milo went on Tucker's show to basically say that homosexuality is not innate. And Tucker Carlson believes that too. And many people on the right believe that too, as if it is a choice. Some will go as far to say that's a choice, or some will say that it's caused by your environment. I'm skeptical about that, just having known a lot of gay people who were raised to be straight and then like just were never straight. And it seems to me people are kind of just born that way, even though there's no gay gene. But yeah, and Milo, I think, is gay. I don't think he's ever going to be straight. He can have sex with women and he can maybe have children and stuff like gay people sometimes do. But that doesn't change the fact that they're attracted to men. I think a lot of them, if it was a choice, would choose not to be gay, especially the way society used to be. So that's my opinion on that. I didn't listen to his interview, though. I think Milo is a ridiculous person. And he's supporting Candace, which is just kind of, at this point, it's just kind of lame. It's it's some kind of grift because she's so dominant. But yeah, Milo is a provocateur. You know, I don't believe anything he said. He said so many things that aren't true that I just don't believe him. And I never believe, like, he's gay. He's 100% homosexual. He's never going to convince me that he's changed. I don't think you can. I don't think it's possible. But who am I to say? I don't think it's possible. Just based on myself. Like, I couldn't choose to be gay. So, don't know, though. So, I don't know if gay people can choose to be straight. Seems difficult. Do I think Massey will make a run in 2028? Wouldn't that be interesting? But no, probably not. He just probably doesn't have enough support for that. There are lots of people, truthers and libertarians, like myself, who would really love that, who would really love the chance to vote for him. But I don't think he'll run. You think Marjorie Taylor Greene will run? She might. Ted Cruz is going to run. There's going to be a Zionist versus not Zionist setup, like, because all the Zionists are already turning on JD Vance. I'm pretty sure Ben Shapiro is not going to support JD Vance. So there's going to be a lot of people who are looking for an alternative, but it could be what's his name from Florida, who's super, like, who tries to create hate. DeSantis could run from the Jewish side of JD Vance. So we'll see. But Massey, I don't think he'll run for president. I don't think so. He just can't win, I don't think. I don't think he can win. Let's see. Let's get through the chat. Oh, I can show chat on stage too. You found me from the limo crash? The limo crash. Yeah, that was crazy. Thank you. That was good. I feel, you know what? Like, people are mad at me. The trouble is I came back a long time later. A lot of my subscribers are from conspiracy theory days. I don't talk about too many conspiracy theories anymore, but I feel like they just don't happen as much anymore because everybody's a conspiracy theorist, and most of them do TikToks and shorts. And I'm not a TikTok and short kind of guy. I'm just the wrong age group, I guess. I'm the long form kind of guy. But the AI helps me with my shorts. So like I said, I made one popular short that was kind of a conspiracy theory. Might have been fake, though. It might have been an AI picture I used, but I'm leaving it up. I'm getting the views. I'm getting the followers on TikTok. Don't know what to do with them, though. Don't know what benefit it gives me. Limo crash. Yeah, that was a psyop. That was just super weird. Super weird. I just haven't seen anything like that lately. It seemed like every day I could cover some new false flag back in the day. But the false flags have really dried up, I feel like. Thanks, Lost Files. Been with me since San Bernardino. I guess I'm back in time here. Let's see. What time is it? 4:30. I'm back at 4:15 comments. Let's see. I recently watched an interview you did with McAfee. The dude was coughing a lot and chain smoked, but did inhale. I didn't notice he didn't inhale. But yeah, McAfee, I interviewed him twice, I believe, 2 or maybe even 3 times. Be great to do some interviews, but I haven't been interested in anybody. And then when I was interested in people, they didn't want to come on my show or they wouldn't reply. Let's see. Kira says we're likely a sphere. I think kind of, yeah. It's kind of hard to deny that a lot of things work with the sphere thing. But light must bend for us to be able to see much further than we should. And also the South Pole in Antarctica, something's going on with that. And it is weird we don't fly over the South Pole. Like, I always thought that was weird and kind of like points to flat earth theory that there's some kind of ice wall around us. We don't fly over the South Pole when we could. And then the direction flights take is weird. And pilots all fly as if it's flat. So, don't know. Call-in show is good. Yeah, I can take calls. Should I put up my phone number and open the phone? I can take calls too today. We're just chatting. I'm not even doing anything. I'm not even showing you guys news. I have news, but we can chat too. I can open up the phone. Logging in. Thank you, Steve. Work on Riverside was unmatched. Yeah, that's San Bernardino. Yeah, it was good. I did a deep dive on that. Do I still believe in Bigfoot? I never believed in Bigfoot. No. Jackie, you're up for some Candace tonight. I have fatigue, but she really messed up this time. Okay, let's show you that. I'll open up the conversation to be about Candace because I do want to show you there is breaking news since I last tuned in. It's exactly what I predicted would happen. Exactly what I predicted was going to happen after the guy was on. I was like, oh, this guy's going to be exposed. There's something wrong with him, you know? And then I pointed out why I thought he was a grifter and stuff. And now apparently people have proven that. So I'll show you that. Let me catch up to real time. George Webb. Yeah, I have a George Webb clip. A bunch of people jumped on the Candace Owens bandwagon. And it was a super popular thing to do. And I wonder if those people are going to pay the price for supporting her and her being like exposed the way she is now. I don't know if those people are going to pay the price or not. There is a cult following of hers that just goes everywhere on Twitter and bombards everybody who posts negative things about her and says everybody's in on some kind of a psyop, including myself, that I'm being paid by somebody. Like everybody's apparently in on it. Everybody's being paid to discredit Candace, apparently. Or they used to be bots. Now it's some kind of $1 billion operation to discredit Candace Owens because she's on the right track. George Webb jumped on it. George Webb is back. He's still out there. I have a video from him. Thanks. You got me some coffees? Okay, I'll read them. Thanks. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Steve Cameron Productions. Remember, the whole Mitch story came out after Candace sat down with Erica. I believe that's when a deal was made for her to green light the Mitch disinfo for what, who knows, money, threats, or both. Well, the way I see it is Candace Owens is a grifter, a slave to her fans, a slave to what she's done. And after her meeting with Erica, when she seemed to be kind of believing Erica and on good terms with her for one moment, her fans all revolted during that episode, the first episode after the meeting with Erica Kirk. Her whole chat hated her because the whole time everybody wanted to see. It's a soap opera, you know? So it's like they want Erica to be the villain, and Erica's weird and kind of like a pastor's wife kind of vibe. And the narrative that everybody was following, even though Candace hadn't accused Erica directly before, people wanted that to be the story. Like, obviously, Erica's the villain, and she's like the evil wife who is in on it and stuff. And then Candace had an opportunity with Mitch to say that, to really drive that home and then win back her whole audience and stuff. So she took that opportunity with Mitch, who seems like there's going to be a big expose. It looks like, from these military guys who I didn't follow, but one of whom was a supporter of Candace. I mean, that's what's crazy, is that Candace, her narrative is that everyone attacking her is a paid op, like some kind of $1 billion government operation to discredit her. But the problem with that is it's like, now she's lost a bunch of people who supported her before, and people are like, oh, mask is off, etc. Or like, you never really supported Candace. And they're like, no, this guy Mitch is a scumbag. He's a liar, a serial liar, wife beater. And we're going to show you the evidence. And people are like, so yeah, I'll cover it. But yeah, people wanted that narrative. She has a lot of female followers. She's been doing a soap opera thing. And now she's she's accusing without accusing, but she's basically implying that Erica was having an affair with this guy Cabot from Daily Wire. So that's like the high drama story, which is that Erica was having an affair. She wanted to kill Charlie and take over his empire. She's like the Black Widow, which I mean, which is kind of like, I don't know. I don't want to defend Erica Kirk because she's so strange and stuff. And she is obviously like an actress and has that background. She was like a pageant queen and stuff. And obviously, you know, the marriage was probably about, you know, being close to somebody who's famous and stuff like that, and maybe seeking the spotlight a little bit herself. Obviously, she did that in her youth when she was a pageant queen. So, but it's, to me, it is kind of sick to me, honestly. Like, she's a widow. There's no proof of anything. So it's like she's just attacking a widow, saying that, and then she went really low at certain points. In certain episodes, she went really low, like saying that Charlie didn't really want her to be a CEO, etc., when she has no evidence of that. So the whole thing is pretty sick to me, actually. I don't want to incur the wrath of Candace's followers too much, and I'm trying not to attack her and stuff and say she's mentally ill and all that, although she might be, to be honest with you. And I can say that as somebody who's had mental illness, and it's kind of come out on video before, and I was a little crazy at certain points. So could be, I don't know. I don't want to accuse her of that, though, and say she needs to be psychologically evaluated or whatever, but it's all pretty sick to me, actually. But Divine Rod says happiest widow to ever live. No, I mean, you think she was just faking it? I mean, she cries in all her interviews. She puts on a good face for the company, but what do you want her to do? That was her husband's company. Psy Girl says Cappy was a junkie. He was just a pot smoker. But I know now from experience that can make you crazy, especially if you're already bipolar. So he wasn't a junkie. Vegan Mikey was. The evidence points to, at least. Vegan Mikey was, apparently, heroin or something. That's what people claimed with evidence. Happiest widow ever, dabbing the fake tears. So yeah, that's what people want to think. It makes a good story. But there's no evidence. That's all. There's just no evidence. And it's okay to ask questions, but Candace Owens went well beyond asking questions. She directly accused TPUSA of covering up the murder. She accused them of covering up the murder with no evidence. And no direct evidence. I mean, she claims they were lying about all this different stuff, but it's not clear. They maybe kind of covered up the fact that at first that Charlie was turning on Israel. That's true. And I think Candace showing that Charlie was changing his mind about Israel is super relevant and stuff. So I agree with that part, but otherwise I don't think there's evidence that they covered anything up, and Candace accused them of that. She said they were complicit. On Piers Morgan, she said it, and then denied she said it, but she said it. And then she had on a guest who made accusations, pretty much. Although I don't know if she can get sued over it, because she says she doesn't know. She doesn't know. He said 95 to 99% sure. So is that really an accusation that they can sue him for? I'm not sure. He's up to $138,000 on his GoFundMe or Give Send Go. Oh, somebody's calling me. Interesting. Allow while visiting the site. Hey, you're on the air.
Hey Nathan, it's the Branch. What's up, man?
Hey Branch, how are you?
Doing exceptionally well. Just wanted to call and give you holiday wishes
Thank you.
and season's greetings and all that.
Back at
I wanted
you.
to bring up maybe two things because I know I tend to meander a lot when I talk. But so when now who is that rapper that was on stage with Erica?
Forgive me.
Was it Nick?
Nicki
whatever her
Minaj.
name is? Okay, well, she said something really strange on stage that I wanted to point out because Charlie Kirk didn't necessarily care for her. You know, he's clipped here this week the clips of him saying that he didn't, just as an example, he wasn't like coming out attacking her, but just in dialogue with some college student at one of these exchanges he would have. He just uses her as an example, how he didn't think that she would be a good role model for 18-year-old girls or whatever.
Sure.
And
that makes sense.
so when she's on stage, as soon as she gets introduced and she, you know, says, oh, Trump's a wonderful president or whatever, then she says something about J.D. Vance and calls him an assassin.
Yeah. I
really
heard about that.
Yeah. So what do you think? Like, do you think Erica reacted to that appropriately? Because I think you can construe that a couple of different ways. Like if you really knew what was going on from like the outside in, it's always like, that's pretty sarcastic to be doing, you know, at some guy's like memorial, basically. Like, you know, he didn't think much of you. And then you make some comment about being a role model and an assassin in the same sentence. I mean, that to me is just kind of distasteful, you know.
I didn't watch the clip. I only read the excerpt that she said that. So I actually didn't watch. That's one of the things about the TPUS because I'm not interested in Nicki Minaj.
Well, I'm not either, but
like it is interesting she said that. Probably just an unfortunate slip of the tongue, basically. I mean, I assume. I don't know how Erica reacted though.
Well, it's funny you would say that because there were other slips of the tongue that same night.
When she called the guy a grifter.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that was funny.
There was another one too, but I can't recall what it was, I think. But yeah, so I just feel like that is kind of some circus stuff going on, you know, that whole, what did they call that? M Fest or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know what? But it's always been that way. You know what I mean? Every nonprofit is a scam in some sense. Every nonprofit, every political organization. I mean, they're all about raising money, putting on a show. And so it was a show, but I don't know what people expected or if that makes TPUSA worse than any other scam charity or NGO. But yeah, interesting choice of guest. I mean, you know, it's the thing is Republicans want to be cool as much as they trash the left and Hollywood and everything. They still wish Hollywood liked them. They still wish. So when somebody who's famous for being a pop star suddenly says something that's kind of right wing, then they immediately glom onto that person, even if that person isn't necessarily a good
right
role model.
Based.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So
that sort of behavior. Yeah, man, I feel like that's kind of what they do. They rent these people, you know, in a sense. Didn't Trump do that with Kanye?
I mean, for a while, Kanye was kind of popular because he was kind of embraced. He was a little bit embraced for a while before he ran for president, hooked up with Nick Fuentes and Milo. he was a little bit embraced because he would say nice things about Trump.
Speaking of Trump, that was one of the other things I kind of wanted to bring up. I can't remember the exact year of the publication, but it's from a 1990s era heavy metal magazine publication. Are you familiar with that at all? It's like a comic.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Well, you can probably find it pretty easily. But anyway, it's called Heavy Metal Magazine. And like I said, it was from like 1993 maybe, or something like that, maybe 99. But in it, it's a story featuring like a political intrigue and all this, but the character's obviously modeled after Trump. And in the story, it even uses his name, and he like basically forms a group, a following that overthrows the oligarchs in the story. And, in our reality, they call it QAnon or whatever. We call them Q-tards now, right? But anyway, that is kind of congruent, right? So then but in the story, they're called the demons, or the guardian demons, I think is what they're called. And they all wear these like jackets with, horns and stuff on them. But anyway, they get this Trump character into power because they think that he's going to change everything. And believe it or not, there's even a wall in the, and it's just a comic strip actually, and it's not that long. But after he comes to power, he then becomes corrupt and gets overthrown by the people. And at the very end of the comic, you see like a new generation, like a new kid walking up to the wall and like spray painting "fuck Trump." It's like the cycle continues,
Yeah, the cycle continues, right?
But what's really wild is this was created before any Trump ever really had ambitions. I mean, maybe he did, and we just don't know it. But I've seen a number of interviews where that he himself didn't even really flirt with the idea. Like the people interviewing him would always ask, "Oh, are you ever going to run for president?"
Yeah,
they all loved until he actually did run for president.
Yeah, right.
But it's just funny because this comic was made when he was favorable, in this era, and it kind of depicted his rise and fall. But how long ago was that? So we're already in 2025. So I mean, that's been like over 30 years ago. Like that's crazy to me. So you throw that right there in the same category as what the Ingersoll Lockwood Trump Adventures of Baron Trump books and stuff. It's on that, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's all weird. I don't know how predictive programming works, but there's something else about some book with a guy named Elon who is like Elon Musk, right? Which is just super weird. So I don't know how all that stuff works. Somebody's mentioning snake eyes in the chat in regards to the Charlie Kirk assassination. I mean, that stuff is weird. It's just one of those weird, like cosmic things, I feel like.
Yeah.
I mean, people get their inspiration from out there. So like, who knows how people get their inspiration and write things, but it is interesting, especially with how corrupt the Trump administration is right now.
And the one last thing I wanted to mention, I think maybe happened today or yesterday. Did you cover the Epstein files actually being that you could actually still read them? You just have to copy and paste the text, and like some bozo didn't actually redact the files properly, so you can still access the text.
I didn't cover it, I don't think, but maybe I'd mentioned it, that you can just copy it. Like they didn't do a real redaction. They just did a PDF, put black over it, but then saved it as is instead of saving it as a new PDF or something, so that you could basically just copy and paste it and remove the redactions. Yeah, that's pretty solid. That's pretty solid government work right there.
Right. Probably an intern.
Yeah.
And actually 7 files, I think, but then there's an 8th kind of hidden one that wasn't necessarily publicly announced yet.
Yeah, right.
There was already an internet directory for it, and that's already been found and downloaded.
Right.
So But then I did see another tweet or something saying they had millions more files to release.
Yeah,
like,
today they found another million files. So the
Like,
Epstein thing is such a it's like, I mean, Kash Patel and Pam Bondi should resign, honestly,
right.
the way they've handled it.
But anyway, that's the kind of the highlights of the things that I just wanted to mention. So
okay,
thanks so much for hearing me out, and happy holidays. Got you some coffees, dude.
thanks, dude. I really appreciate it. I'll read them before the end of the show.
All right, dude.
You're the man. Thanks so much. See ya.
Man.
Yeah, if reality is scripted, yeah, maybe. But yeah, I have some of the Epstein stuff. I have that. I could cover it, but we're just talking with you guys in the chat a little bit today. Somebody left because they said I wasn't even bashing Trump yet. I wasn't even talking about Trump. Somebody left. Somebody in the chat said, "This I get this sometimes. It's very hard to." It's very hard to not be controversial with your audience these days. They're going to turn on you for one reason or another. I see that with every creator right now, trying to hold it together. Candace kind of has like a cult going, but she obviously has people criticizing her too now. But previous to that, I mean, it was everybody loved her, but now it's like you can't say anything without people having a problem with it. But here, this is what Sarah Ellen said, not in the mood for intentional Trump bashing. Prefer your usual neutral fact finding and commentating. I'll check back next time. Merry Christmas, everyone. Well, Merry Christmas to you. I'm sure you're gone. But I didn't even think I was Trump bashing when you said that. Dabin Good says, get off Candace, bro. Well, some people want to talk about it. So just because you said it, I'm going to play the clip. Just because you said it, I'm going to play the clip. She's just so huge. She's a world moving force. So, I mean, she figured it out. She cracked the code. She really did. She cracked the code. It's the new QAnon, pretty much. Everybody's talking about her. Matt Taibbi jumped in. He's a serious journalist. I like him a lot. He's calling her out and everybody's attacking him. But let me just show you the latest on Candace. Since you said get off Candace, I will intentionally not even just ignore you, but reject that. And I will play the clip from this guy who was a supporter of Candace Owens. And apparently there's going to be a big show after Christmas showing all the facts. Let's see what's happening. Oh, okay. That's why you said that, Davin. She's asking all the right questions. Which questions? Well, okay, no problem. What do you think of Mitch? What do you think about the accusations she's made? It's okay to ask questions. But when they turn into accusations with no evidence, it's a little bit weird. Let me play you the clip, though. This is Green Beret, Valhalla channel. I tuned into it last night. He didn't present any of his evidence yet, but he says he's going to. Seems very disturbed by Mitch. So let me play it, and people can comment on it. This is apparently what's going to come out about Mitch, though. Let's see.
In my investigation into Mitch Snow, what I have found is maybe one of the most horrific, appalling human beings I've ever come across. The amount of violence against women in his record, kidnapping, abuse, fraud. Oh, I have the proof. I have it all. I have all the documents. It's really, really, really bad. And I'll tell you this, regardless of how we feel about Candace, we're fans of Candace. I stand up for women, as does JD. Me and JD both have very staunch anti-abuse against women and children stances. Hardline for both of us. I don't care who you are. If you platform and raise $130,000 for someone who has a visceral history of abuse against women that's going to blow your guys' mind. I'm not going to allow that to happen. It's 1,000 times worse than any of you guys could have ever imagined. The stolen valor, the Fort Huachaca, well, we're going to debunk that. But that is nothing to this story. I'm actually horrified. I've talked to all of the victims. I've talked to his entire family. I've talked to his children. His own son, by the way, who was an Army veteran, will be coming out and speaking publicly with us to explain to you how his father, what a con artist his father is. It is insane who this man really is. That is coming Friday. Now, we don't need to, and again, I'm pretty emotional about it because listening to all of these victims, it's been rough. It's been rough. And again, I'm going to bring you every document, all the domestic violence files, all the court documents, all the military documents. We've got it all of it.
Do you think that Candace knows about this?
I hope not. And guys, this is what's really making me uncomfortable. If Candace knew this about this guy and decided to still platform him, I'm going to be horrified. I'm going to be absolutely horrified if she did this knowingly. It's bad. Okay. This is just who he is as a con artist. We haven't even got into debunking the Fort Huachaca story, which we're going to do very easily, by the way. But yeah, sorry. And again, it's making me emotional because I've sat on phone calls with hours with his family members, his kids. I mean, and we're talking about a litany of women that have been abused. Not one, not two, not three, not four. It's really, really, really bad.
There you go. So that's what Valhalla on YouTube is saying. Valhalla, some 3-letter thing. I tuned into him last night, but he just kept going on and on and on, not presenting his evidence yet. But apparently that's going to happen the day after Christmas. Christmas is tomorrow. That's Thursday. Then Friday. That's the big D-Day. So Candace, I don't think knew about the domestic violence history in advance. I don't think her vetting was that thorough. She vetted his claim about being at the base, which I always believed. But apparently some people wanted to say he was never at the base. I never said that. She vetted his claim about being at the base because he had evidence that he was at the base, including some cell phone video that he took, which I don't know if it showed anything, but there was audio on it, I think, of him talking to the military police or something like that. But then once she found out about his history, she had to find out because people were posting the domestic violence charges. She did tell her listeners, don't worry about his past. She said that specifically. Don't worry about his past. We just need to prove his claims. So there are just a few things wrong. They're like about what her followers are saying, which is that everybody that was accused of being at this base. So she released the record that seems to show a report, although people question the report, but I think maybe the report is real. I don't know. Assuming it is real, it doesn't prove his case. It's not about whether he was at that base. It's whether he saw Erica Kirk, Brian Harpole, this guy Cabot, then got added after the fact, and this congressman. The congressman provided a solid alibi. He's on video, verified by her fans, by some like supporters of hers, at least one prominent supporter of hers on Twitter said, okay, he's on video at the time he's supposed to be in Arizona. So that guy did prove an alibi. Brian Harpole denied being there and provided an alibi, which is makes it very hard for him to have been there. Very, very hard for him to have been there. It's theoretically possible if he had like a private jet. It's theoretically possible if he had a private jet or something that he could have been there at 7:30 in the morning. But it's very difficult, and he denies it. That's enough. So people understand. People say she's a great journalist. She's not. She's not following standard journalistic ethics. Before having that guy on, she needed to ask everyone who is going to be accused of being there if they were there. Not to provide her an alibi. They could if they wanted to, but she needed to ask if they were there. I believe she may have asked Erica if she was there, and Erica said no, based on what George Webb said, which is that Erica Kirk actually gave her an alibi. In that case that they denied, so she needed to do that in advance, not after making the claims. This is just standard journalistic ethics. You don't make the claims first and then make people prove it's not true. You check with them first before running your story. And then if you're still going to do the story, you at least say, oh, they deny it. You at least say that. It's kind of like this 60-minute story that's all screwed up, right? If you guys heard about that with Barry Weiss pulling the 60-minute story. They had asked the White House for a comment. That's what you do. Like when I did a hit piece on David Seaman, I asked him to respond to the claims and he refused. So I said that when I made the video, but at least I asked him first. So the congressman proved he wasn't there. He's on video. Brian Harpole said he wasn't there. 95% proved he couldn't have been there. And then Erica hasn't said anything publicly yet. And Cabot hasn't said anything publicly yet. Nicole says he never said he saw Cabot, not during the interview. But I've had to watch Candace's show now to make sure I know what's going on. And on her show, her next show or the show after that, she said she asked him if she showed him a picture of Cabot. And he said, oh, yeah, he was there too. So that's in there now too. And Candace has been trying to make claims about that, and that's basically the implication that she was having an affair. That's the implication with that one, because she dated this guy before, apparently. Davin says she is a reporter. You don't deplatform, you debate. It's journalism. Nobody's asking to deplatform her, as far as I know. That's kind of a straw man argument. I think a lot of people would like to see her deplatformed. She has broken terms of service blatantly. She's broken TOS blatantly, and she's still monetized and promoted by YouTube, which is weird. But still, I don't see anyone calling for her to be deplatformed. They're just telling her to stop accusing people of shit without evidence. So the evidence she showed is that apparently he was at the base, but the evidence that she showed is that he was acting like a weirdo, so much so that they shut down stuff, had to get bomb sniffing dogs, that he was like super erratic and strange. And the report was at like 11 a.m. So it doesn't even show that he was there at the time he said he was there. So Brian Harpole provided evidence that he was in Dallas. And people are like, oh, that's not good enough. You could have theoretically been there at 7:30 in the morning and gotten back to Dallas in time for your flight. But then she provides evidence which shows a different time. I mean, way later than he said he was there. And nobody on Candace's side thinks that's a problem. And I see people in the chat, I don't know if they're joking, saying that, oh, so what, he beat up his wife and stuff. The attacks on his character are actually valid. People are saying, oh, you're just attacking his character, not what he said. But actually, all we have to rely on is what he said. So actually attacking his character is appropriate because that's all we have. And especially with the fundraiser, because that gives him motive to lie. And especially with his financial history of not paying child support, which is what these guys said in another part of their show. Apparently he hasn't paid child support. He's always in financial trouble. So that goes to motive for him to lie. He was on another show telling a different story. People say they debunked the story about the drug tunnels. That's all relevant. Attacking his character is relevant because all we have to go by is his word. So if he's shown to have been a liar in the past, that's relevant. If he's shown to have questionable character, like being a wife beater and not paying his child support, that's actually relevant because it goes to his credibility. But people are like, oh, they need to prove they weren't there. They don't have to prove shit. They can just deny it. They don't have to provide alibis. They don't have to do any of that. People did. So far, Brian Harpole and the congressman have provided alibis and denied it. But then it's Ball in Candace's court. Ball in Mitch's court. Okay, people denied it. Okay, well then what's your proof? Well, there is no proof. They were there. There's no proof they were there. In regards to this Mitch thing, there is no proof they were there. There's only the word of someone with a really sketchy background. So it's fair, 100% fair to point out stuff that's wrong with this guy. So let me get to the chat. On what channel did they say his tunnel story was invalid? It might be, it's one of these military guys. I have another clip that's even longer. From the Green Beret at Paramount Tactical, who's been attacking her the whole time. So he's not as interesting as this other character I just showed you, I guess, whose name is Nate from Valhalla channel, who supported her the whole time. This other guy who's been attacking her the whole time, I think he might claim in his clip. I can play it for you if you want. It's 6 minutes long, though. Yeah, he claims in his clip that the cartel story is fake and they have proof. Do you want me to play it for you? That's on the Paramount Tactical or something like that. But it's a 6-minute clip. So it's these Army veterans basically who are talking about it. What has relevance is all evidence that doesn't corroborate with the official narrative. Okay, just tell me what the evidence is. When has she provided evidence for anything? The only things she's provided evidence for are being debunked. The Egyptian planes have been debunked. And if anything, like, why has she promised last week that at the end of the week, she would post her updated timeline in the Egyptian planes. It hasn't been updated. So until further notice, that has been completely debunked. The Egyptian plane claim, which was apparently super important. So that's been debunked. And now Mitch is basically being debunked. It has been debunked as far as the congressman being there. Mostly debunked and denied as far as Brian Harpole is concerned. Who debunked the Egyptian planes? It was it might have been Kanekoa the Great on Twitter. They provided a spreadsheet showing that the planes weren't in the places she said. Alex Jones just repeated that information. And she admitted it. I mean, she said that her timeline needed to be updated. So she basically admitted that some of it was not what she said. So she basically admitted it because she said she has to come out with an updated timeline. Davin says, it's clear the official narrative is BS, so question everything. That much is clear. What's your theory? Well, people say that. But why is it clear that the official narrative is fake? Besides the 30-06 thing, that's the best piece of evidence, I guess, if you want to call it evidence, that he wasn't shot with a 30-06 because it should have left an exit wound. Okay, a lot of people have shown that. They've done some research, like Dr. Martinson did some tests on pig heads with spines and stuff, and shot them like 55 times with a 30-06, and the bullet always exited. So I get that. But, however, Martin Luther King was apparently shot with a 30-06, which embedded. Some people claim, who have experience with firearms and stuff, that it is possible. There's claims the bullet fragmented. Even Candace is going with that. There's claims that the bullet fragmented. There's a claim that it changed directions. And also, as far as them having no evidence, they have the confession from the guy. So it's a lot better than any evidence Candace has shown. They have text messages from the guy confessing. They have the fact that his parents turned him in. But like, you can say that's fake, but you have to prove it's fake. He confessed in his text messages to his furry boyfriend, and they released the text. He said he did it. I get it. See, this is what people say. Oh, yeah, we believe all that nonsense. Well, prove it's fake then. And Dabin, the family said they didn't. No, Candace said the family said they didn't. In the charging document, it's very clear. They said they recognized him from the video stills. It's in the charging documents. Tara Bright says, can't believe you're believing the feds. I don't necessarily believe them. But if we're saying that everybody has to prove everything, like all these people have to prove they weren't at Fort Huachuca, well, then you have to prove that it's fake. If it's not fake, then it's a confession. I mean, if it's not fake, then it's a confession in writing. So what can I say? Nobody can prove it's not fake. All you can say is, oh, we don't believe the feds. Well, that's not good enough. You know what I mean? That's not good enough. That's not proof. It's not proof to say, oh, he wouldn't say vehicle or he wouldn't talk like that. And the 30-06, it's speculation with some backup to it. I mean, I get it, but it's speculation. Oh, a 30-06 should have done this. Well, okay, well, maybe it didn't. I don't know. It's not to say I believe the feds. I don't, but you have to prove them wrong. You have to prove that they're lying then. Why did they do that stuff? Don't know. It's suspicious. Doesn't prove anything though. You can say things are weird. That's what I used to do. While I was talking about false flags and stuff, I would say, oh, this is weird. This is weird. This is weird. It's weird. But what does it prove? Just being real with you guys. Yeah, it's weird. They took down the camera. Okay. But so what? He still kept it and gave it to the police, I believe. The Google searches, I don't believe in those Google searches. They bring them up every single time there's something that happens now. I don't know how Google's algorithm works. I don't know how any of that works. I'm guessing the Google searches are just some kind of glitch because every single time something happens, they're like, oh, look, it was Googled in Tel Aviv. I don't believe it. I don't know. I just don't believe it. It's not proof to me. Unless someone can say that it's definitely 100% true, the way Google does that. I just don't believe it. Gibbs says, question everything. It's okay to question things. She's not questioning. It's an accusation. TPUSA is complicit in the cover-up. That's an accusation. She can get sued for that. Saying those people were at the base. That's an accusation. Candace isn't saying it because she doesn't want to get sued. She knows she could be. She's saying she doesn't necessarily believe it. She says it every time. Nicole, who says the text message is fake. Well, that's what you believe. I don't think it's on the public to prove that since we don't have access to his phone. Well, that's just your belief. That's not evidence. It's just what you believe. You think it's fake. Okay. They'll prove it in court if it is fake, right? One is defense lawyers. I mean, I understand people think everything's rigged. People are very skeptical of the government. She's using that. It presents a false dichotomy, is what she's doing. Either you believe Candace or you believe the government. That's a false dichotomy. You don't have to, it's not necessarily. I mean, I don't believe the government necessarily, but it's going to court. If it's a real court case, then the lawyers will say the text messages are fake. Unless it's a fake trial. And then you're just in the camp where everything's fake. And what are you doing if everything's fake? Like, how do you live in this world? I used to kind of be there. You're an auto hoaxer then. Or you believe, like some people do, that Charlie didn't even die. I mean, I don't like these comments. What has happened to me? Nothing's happened to me. I'm just telling you like it is. I am a conspiracy theory analyst. Sometimes I debunk conspiracy theories. I didn't run with QAnon. I got the same bullshit. I didn't run with that guy, Screwy Louie, who was in the desert. Remember Screwy Louie? That was a popular thing. Screwy Louie in the Arizona desert finding skulls or whatever. Sometimes people jump on what's popular and it's not true. That's all. So I know. I'll get the same comments that I'm like a Mossad agent or something like that. It's just hard to say that about me. Chow Fun says he didn't die. Well, that's one way to go. I don't know. I can't think of why. As far as that one goes, I can't think of what if you think he didn't die, tell me why they did it then. I'm curious. How did it, cui bono? Thanks, Jackie. Appreciate it. Who says I sound rational? No one is able to be rational about that. I agree with everything you're saying. Thanks for that. A lot of people don't, though. Which is it's a lot of people don't. I look at every post, under every post, and it's I don't want to keep calling it a cult, but it is like this cult-like behavior. They just accuse everyone of being part of some kind of plot to discredit Candace Owens because she's the only one telling the truth or whatever. Jackie, is that it's to elevate Erica Kirk into the spotlight? Well, but how's that working out? Like, why? Why would they elevate Erica? She's not as good as Charlie. How did it benefit TPUSA? They made a lot of money off of it, but that's temporary. That's not going to last. They would have made more money long term. And apparently Charlie Kirk was being set up to run for president and maybe even be a vice president for JD Vance. So I tend to think of it as a net negative for TPUSA that he got killed. So that's why I'm not the fake death. I just don't know. That Paul says, I've had thoughts that he didn't die and it is all an operation to draw people out who criticize Israel. Well, those people have been drawn out. That's for sure. I'm a critic of Israel. So I'm a big critic of Israel. But it's turned into like it's kind of turned into a condition, you know? I don't know if this is a compliment or not. Don't get mitched. Mossad has like smart, talented people, right? Not schizo, nobody, 100 viewers on YouTube people. That's right. Exactly. I don't think that's a compliment, but thank you anyway. Yes, I'm unlikely to be supported by Mossad. I would have to have more influence and make more money to do that. Nobody. That's not very nice. I am a somebody. People know who I am from my work back in the day. Alex Jones follows me on Twitter. Jack McLean says a power family's daughter will be president, first female president. Well, Erica's not doing that well. I mean, nobody really. Well, a lot of people really like her. She's doing as good a job as she can, I think. But Devin says, what do I think about Jaronism? I think he went to I mean, I told him that was a problem. I've known all along that was a problem with the flat earth. There's a big problem with the flat earth. There is no model that works with the flat earth. The one that they show with the sun spinning over the top, sun and moon spinning over the top, it only works for the northern hemisphere. It doesn't work in the south. And it certainly doesn't work in Antarctica, where there's a 24-hour sun in the winter. So he went to Antarctica. I told him, I was like, Mr. Beast went there during the wintertime, and it was a 24-hour sun. I was like, hey, Darren, there's a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. That doesn't work. Not with the model they show. If I can show you guys what I mean if you care, but. And then he was like, oh. But the problem is then you have to associate with people who believe the moon landing was real. You know, it's kind of tough with how much like NASA is faked. Mike H., I can tell you this. What happens when they put you on a mental hold? Do they put you in a straitjacket? What kind of room are they in? How long do they keep you? Okay, I can tell you this. What happens is you get taken by the police to a hospital. You're on a 72-hour mandatory hold. You go to the hospital, and then they wait for a bed to open up at a mental health facility, and which is locked down. So then they take you there, and yeah, you have a bed. Like, you're not in a straitjacket or anything. They take away your shoelaces, your belt, stuff like that. And then they check in on you during the night and all of that. They check in on you every, 15 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. I'm not sure, to make sure you don't do anything harmful. And then they'll extend the hold if they think it's necessary, and it's kind of hard to fight. But originally, if you're fine right away, then you get out in 72 hours. They call it 5150 in California. Harm to yourself or others. But they don't put you in a rubber room or anything. It's just a dormitory type thing with a crappy bed, a really crappy pillow, really bad food. I mean, it really sucks. And then you might get to go outside for like 30 minutes a day. Maybe if you're, but no, here in California, they pay for it. If you have no insurance, no, they pay for it. There's like some kind of program for it. It would be fucked up to make people pay for being held on mental health hold. California, you don't have to pay for it. Mr. Happy said in Washington, they just send you to the hospital and evaluate you. If you fail that, then you go somewhere else much, much worse. Yeah. Did they give you lithium there? I ended up on lithium at one point. But I stopped. I don't like, it didn't do anything for me. But they can't force you to take anything. But then they'll hold you until you do. So it's kind of forced. It's kind of forced in a way. But yeah, I ended up on lithium at one point, but it didn't do anything for me. It didn't help. So I don't like being on too much medication. So, but yeah, lithium is one of the things. It's supposed to make you not suicidal, supposedly. Lithium. It's like one drug that supposedly makes you not suicidal, supposedly. All right. So those are good questions. We talked about it. We talked about Candace. That's good. Anything? Let's see. Jackie said that must have been a tough experience. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks. It sucks going in. Yeah, they'll tell you, Yeah, they'll be like, oh, okay, well, they can't force you to take, which is kind of, I don't know, it's kind of good and bad, but they can't force you to take antipsychotic medication. Like they can't, they're not allowed to. They're not allowed to force you to take medication, mental health medication. But for some people, it would really help them. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. Oh, that's interesting. You were in? At the end of my story, the first time, there's some doc that asked me straight up, now, are you going to try to kill yourself again? That can be pretty insensitive. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of a joke to some extent. But yeah, I was most of the times I was taken in, it was because I was having an manic episode. But one time I went in, I was suicidal. And the lithium didn't really help, but I just told them I wasn't anymore, basically, and they let me out, even though I still was pretty much. But fortunately, I feel better now. But I had a rough year this year, but I feel better now. I don't think I'm going to go back to feeling that bad anymore. Side Girl says, hey, Nathan, do you think that ridiculous Discord chat text is authentic? It reads like it was written by a 50-year-old FBI hack. You know, the kid was some kind of genius, right? So maybe he just wrote that way. I don't know. I don't believe it or disbelieve it. I just know that if it's true, then he's guilty. And if it's not, then somebody needs to prove it's not. So don't know. Chow Fun, thank you. Yeah, I know. It's unfortunate I had to do it in public. I did I think twice. I had mental breakdowns on my show. Kind of fucked up. But I deleted them. People move on. You can redeem yourself. Now I'm on a different channel. So people didn't necessarily see it. Most people tuned out. So that was good, but yeah, it's difficult. Jackie Blue, yeah, I'm sorry about that. I won't put it on the screen. Yeah, it's very difficult. It's difficult if you feel bad. It's hard to shake. So who knows? All right. Anything else? Let's see. I have some stuff about AI. We talked about Candace. It seems like we wore that out. So that's good. People are still with me. That's good. We'll see what happens on Friday. I'll tune into their stream on Friday, I think. Figure out when it is. It looks like Tactical, Paramount Tactical, and Valhalla are both going to do some kind of stream on Friday. So I'll tune in for that. Steve says, do I believe Tyler was able to pick out his own tie? You mean because he wore the trans colors? Probably. It seems like they let him wear clothes, which is nice of them. Thanks, Frank. I'd like to do more interviews, but I used to find people and be interested in people and bring them on, but I just haven't thought of anybody. I get pitched interviews all the time in my email now that I have my big channel back. But before I would get frustrated because nobody would come on because this channel had been deleted and my other channel had 12 or 14,000 subscribers. So I feel like that's why people didn't want to come on. But maybe now I could get people on, but I haven't been interested in anybody really. I was interested in talking to Jaron, but all right. Anything else? Let's see if there's anything I want to show you guys today. Oh, let's show you just for fun. I'll show you video of Marco Rubio apparently on cocaine. We'll show you that just for fun. Let's Let's see, it's loading.
Yes, sir.
Here.
Vladimir Putin today had
I
his
thought you
own-
were introducing yourself.
No, no.
I'm Vladimir
Definitely
Putin.
not. Definitely not. Vladimir
What are you
Putin.
doing here? Go
Nick
ahead, I'm
Schiffer
sorry.
in PBS NewsHour. Vladimir Putin had his own end-of-year press
Today?
conference today.
Oh, he's trying to step on my message.
Yeah, his went I think 4 hours, so we got
well,
we
don't
got at
worry
least
about
3
that
hours.
one.
And he said he was willing to end the war in
I bet you he
Ukraine.
didn't do it in Spanish.
He did not.
All right. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's right. He said he was willing to end the war in Ukraine based on principles he had outlined last summer, and that included a complete Ukrainian withdrawal from 4 regions, most of which was not.
I think you guys saw
occupied by
enough.
Russia.
Yeah, he's
Recognition
doing
of
that thing with
occupied
his
Russian
tongue and
territory
everything.
in Ukraine,
And then he was wiping his nose, like he's moving his face all around and stuff. So people said he was on coke. All right, I think we've come. It seems like the chat has run out of prompts for me, the AI version of me that's doing the show right now. Glad we were able to talk. I guess I'll put this out on podcast too for people to listen to the podcast. I haven't put out the other show on podcast yet. I can save the news I was going to do for today until tomorrow and maybe go over that again tomorrow. Or we can do another walk and talk like we did today. Possibly, if I go live tomorrow. So would you guys like to see a show tomorrow? Are you guys not doing anything around this time? Because it's possible. There is football on all day, but it's possible we can do a show. Oh yeah, gotta check my coffees. Thanks, I gave him $1. Okay, hold on. Let's check my coffees. Refresh. Thank you for reminding me. Smokey the Bear bought a coffee, says howdy. Thank you, Smokey. The Branch bought a coffee. Oh no. It looks like I just got one today. It looks like I just got one. I'll refresh again. Unless that was from yesterday. Smokey the Bear. Smokey the Bear says howdy. The Branch, that's from yesterday. So it looks like I got one coffee for the show today. And you can still buy t-shirts, which are inexpensive. $10 and $5 t-shirts at truthclothing.io. Super nice t-shirts. And W. Birkin, you're going to host a Twitter space. Okay, I might check it out. I'll see it up there. So maybe I'll check it out. I'm pushing Fed Slop. Sorry, Steve. It's better than what Candace is pushing, at least. I don't mean to. We can still question it. The only thing left as far as the Fed slop goes is the accomplices. But until we get to a trial, it's hard to say. Thanks, Lulu. Appreciate you. All right, everybody. Cool. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the support. Thanks for being here. We actually had a pretty good show today. Pretty full show. Got like 125 people tuned in. That's pretty good. So thanks everybody for tuning in. We might see you tomorrow. If I don't see you tomorrow, Merry Christmas to everybody. I really appreciate you guys. Thanks for all the support. Thanks for hanging with me. We're growing, which is good. Since we've been back, we are growing. So that's good. So we'll try to keep it up into the new year, but in any case, I'll see you before the new year for sure. Okay, cool. Oh, Birkin says I have several coffees. Okay, hold on. Refresh. I only see one from Smokey the Bear. Here, I'll show you my screen. See my screen? I just refreshed and it says recent supporters, Smokey the Bear and Branch. It doesn't show anything more recent than that. Oh, I gave him $1, says you gave them to me. Well, maybe they'll show up later. I don't know. I don't know why they wouldn't show up right away. Normally they show up immediately. Don't know what. Maybe there's a delay or something right now. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate the support. Appreciate the kind words. And I appreciate people who disagree. As long as you keep tuning in, that's fine. Disagreement is fine. I appreciate that. So, All right, I gave him $1. Thanks. I'm sure they'll come through. Thank you for getting me coffees. I appreciate it. I'm sure they'll come through. If there's a note attached to them, I'll read them next time. You're in Australia? Okay. All right, guys. You got me 10, W. Birkin? And you can see it? Oh, okay. If you can see it, that's weird. I'm on buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil, and you can actually see them? Wow, that's really strange. I wonder what's going on. You can see many above yours. I don't know how to check it any better. I can log in. Let's see. I'm going to log in now. Thanks for 18 coffees. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I found them. I'm logged in now. Okay. Thank you. Okay, great. There's a bunch. Okay. Thanks. Okay. Thanks. Let's show my screen. Pete bought me a coffee. Says, serious question. I've had similar mental health issues. Is pot and alcohol the drivers of mental health issues, or are they another symptom of not coping with things? For me, I feel like they are a symptom, but they add to the issue over time. Okay. I believe, based on where I'm at now and where I was at earlier this year, I was using a lot of cannabis. I believe the cannabis can cause psychosis. If you're already and a lot of people say that. I believe cannabis can cause psychosis. So I don't touch it. I don't touch cannabis or alcohol. I haven't had a problem with alcohol really, but I don't touch cannabis anymore because, I believe it definitely can contribute depending on how much you use. So I believe it can cause psychosis. Adam bought 3 coffees. Thank you. Merry Christmas, Nathan. Comeback of the year goes to you. Well deserved. Thank you, Adam. That's very kind. Pete bought a coffee. Says, Merry Christmas, Nathan. Hope you and the other people that follow your show have a great Christmas. Okay, great. Thank you, Pete. Prague bought 3 coffees. Says, thanks for Christmas Eve stream. Appreciate you. Thanks. This is really nice. This is like my biggest coffee show ever. And the branch bought 10 coffees that said, Merry Chrysler, Dodge, and Jeep. Congratulations. You are Lift the Veils Employee of the Month. Wang half. Thanks, the branch. Wow, that's great. Well, that's cool. That's a lot of coffees. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks for making me really check into it. Thanks. I did find everything there. So thanks, everybody. Appreciate you guys. Cool. All right. Thanks, W. Birkin. Thanks for really pushing me on it. I found the coffees. Thanks. That makes me feel good. All right. So that is the final word for today. Enjoy the rest of your evening. We'll see what's going on the rest of the internet. And for now, that's what it is.